Good morning and welcome to the Hot Seat Podcast presents Football Talk Live. I'm the homie Shawn Xavien alongside the homie DaStoreytella, and we are powered by DUBBY Energy. Of course, as always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seat Podcast. And of course, we're streaming live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So be sure to like and subscribe. January 11th, 2026. Let's talk some football. Welcome our interactive chat. Oh, we got one in the building. What up, Kaleo? What up? What up? Man? What up? Oh, man. Postseason edition. Is this where we are right now? It's fun times in the world. Fun times in the world. If you can already see, guys, yes, I have on my colors. Post game. I have not been wearing any type of paraphernalia during said games. What games I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Miami games. I'm just, that juju. I'm not trying to jinx nothing. Just keep this thing going. I'll celebrate afterwards. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, it's a very exciting time. Came through all the holidays, through the New Year's, getting back into the flow of things. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, football. I mean, come on, man.
If you got a significant other, he or she can't stand you right now. I'm telling you that right now. But like, what is happening? Yep, there's football. That's football. And really, if you really look at it, it's damn near every day of the week because there are still bowl games that were happening. Plus, you got college basketball going on. It's just so much happening right now. But we're here to talk football, guys. So let's jump right on into it. College football playoff semifinal scoreboard. Man, some really, at least one good game. The other game, it was good because of just the way they dominated. So let's start off with the game that I was locked in for. Number 6, Ole Miss, Miami, number 10. And it was a game that had me on the edge of my seat. So many different storylines, man. You got the Lane Kiffin aspect that's looming over Ole Miss and how they're going about, and then on the Miami side, you literally so far they've been on the heater, man. But Miami still being in that spot to where at the beginning of the during a portion of the season they were ranked as high as number 2, and the thing that has been looming over Mario Cristobal, even going back to Oregon, which we're gonna talk about that in a minute. He just couldn't get the big games won. Whenever like the moments got to their highest, it would be something that happened in a game that Mario Cristobal coached, that whatever this unforgivable decision was made, and then a loss would ensue. There was a couple times during the game, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, oh, this is not going the way it's gonna go. But ultimately, man, the game itself really turned into a hell of a game in the fourth quarter. They're calling the game of the year. Insane runner-up for catch of the year that didn't even count by Malachi Tony. So much leaning on the $4.3 million NIL of Beck, Carson Beck, that is. You got the Heisman winner and Francisco Mendoza. So much. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. I'm going into the Trinidad Chambliss for Ole Miss. Not Heisman winner, but crazy dope. Yeah, man. What was your takeaway from this game? And ultimately, of course, Miami won 31-27. But what was your takeaway from this game, man?
Well, number one, it went pretty much the way I thought it would. I thought it would be a close game. I did pick Miami to win this game. I thought they should win this game, but let me go to the other side first. On the Ole Miss side of things, man, just clap it up for y'all. Through all the distractions that could have easily been out there for y'all were playing on a totally different purpose. And you could see it. I mean, people were just shining like that guy, the wide receiver Stribling, man. Some of the catches he was making in certain situations, and then, like you said, the quarterback. I mean, you would have thought, well, I guess it kind of was his reel for going into the draft because there's a certain awe that you kind of play with when you're in these type of playoffs and these type of situations, and that's really what you want to see. And you're going to hear me talk about that more a little bit later. But just give it up for the Ole Miss squad, because everything from down to their coach to, pulling some of these coaches while they're in the tournament coaching, like all that type of stuff going on. You could have easily been distracted and you showed up. On the Miami side, I mean, I know you said it about him throughout these years, but I mean, Cristobal showed up, man. You can just tell,
man.
Like, some of the decisions and things that he was doing, and how he's working that sideline, and how he's just working the game in general and keeping their mind straight. Because the way that Ole Miss could easily get distracted on all the outside noise, realize there was outside noise from Miami too. It's not easy when you have the U on that sideline, the whole U, like just standing there and like, literally, hey, he did it. Now it's your time. Like, that's pressure. That's big time pressure. And it's all on you. The pressure that Beck had to go under, which, I mean, he still ain't my cup of tea. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But he did what he needed to do to get where they need to go. And that's it. And that's all they ask of them. And that's what people got to realize. Sometimes I don't need you to be the star. I don't need you to make the greatest throw ever at all time. But I need you to make good enough decisions to get us where we need to be. Because you're not the person we rely on, but you can lose us the game if you make the wrong decision. If you get me in that sense.
You pointed out something that I really applauded. I even put it into the chat. There was a moment where you can see that the Hurricanes were out of sorts. They were, it was a couple of drives there, man, where they just couldn't get nothing off. And you saw Cristobal, and I actually texted in the chat down, said that's the best thing I've seen him do. He called a timeout. You saw him on the sideline. He was like, hey, let's slow down. He even looked at the offensive coordinator. It was like, hey, slow down. Slow down. What you doing? I mean, because you can see they were really antsy. Carson Beck looking to the sideline. That game could have got away from them easily. Especially when you saw that 70-some plus yard run that Kyron Lacey went on. And the same play, he ended up injuring his hamstring on. But when I saw that happen, and I'm like, and the way Miami was kind of frantic, I was like, oh man, this can go sideways. But he was like, hey, calm down, slow down. Look at him slow down. There was even a point when they were up in the game, and then one of his staff kind of like was on his back. I don't know if you saw it, and you saw more Cristobal. Some of them all was like, get off me. The game ain't over. And it wasn't over, man. So, and obviously the game wasn't over.
Bro, like every 4 or 5 minutes, a player was down for y'all. Then you hear about it afterwards, man. That people went into the game sick, not using it as an excuse or anything, but went into the game sick and stuff like that. Like, you could just see a couple things were off, but those are the things you got to fight through. Because let's just be real, whether we're talking college or whether we're talking NFL, no one's 100%.
Yeah.
No one. I don't care how much rest you're coming off of, because then you're rusty. So no one's 100% coming in.
Yeah. And you're talking about, in this case, I know they're some of them in their 20s or something like that. For the most part, you're talking about they're young adults. They're young men. They're kids in some case. Hell, Malachi Tony, the receiver for Miami, he's literally a kid. He's 18 years old. He should be a senior this year. And you can see all that attrition, man, classes and stuff like that, however that goes. It was hard to wear on those guys. The one thing that I saw in this game, and it happens every year, and I don't like it, and I don't know if there's a way to fix it. At times, and even on the pro level, the reffing of the games sometimes, man, really, really unnerves me. And it's at every level, even the levels that I coached at, down from youth football, Pop Warner, high school. It's the thing, man. And I feel like in these high leverage moments, I feel like they should get the best of the refs. Like, in the NFL, they get, whatever ones got graded the best throughout the season. They're the ones who get the ref, like the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. They really need to do that in college, because there's plays that are missed in these games that should be called. There's calls that are made that you're like, what the hell? Like, I don't like. And then some of these refs at times, they come from particular conferences. And there is a thing as a SEC bias out there. It's one of those, and that's just one of them. It's Big Ten side, Big Ten refs, SEC refs. ACC is. I just don't like it. I want to make sure as much as possible that everybody is getting a fair shot and there's no bias on either side. Hell, if
and
it's
also, I'll continue on with that. Also, realize the moment, man.
Yeah.
This is playoffs. Like,
yeah.
If it's something that's so evident that needs to be called, I understand. But I'll give you an example. Towards the end of the game, wasn't there a big play?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are, chirping, hey, it should have been this, it should have been that. Bro, on Hail Marys and things like that and throwing into the end zone, everybody's hitting each other.
Right.
I don't care.
It is what it is.
Everybody, that's what the whole thing is. It's a Hail Mary. I'm throwing it straight up. And by the grace of God, hopefully you come down with it. That's it, by any means possible. And can a person be touched in it? Like any type of going back? Yes. But they're all doing it, bro.
Yes.
Like if it's flagrant where I pulled you to the ground and you can't get to the ball, understood. But other than that, like sometimes it's just being situational football where you're looking and you're just like, okay, the cornerback's shoulder hit the wire. Like, what are we talking about? If I slow it down and I go back to a replay, did they make contact? Yes. But situational football. I just want to say that because I heard a lot of chirping at the end of that game. On a certain play.
I gotta give Carson Beck his just due because when Miami picked him up and signed him to that deal at the beginning of the season, and I'm like, oh man, here we go. And this moment, but he showed up. He showed up in that game, in those big moments. That last game, when he went in there, he ran it in. It was one of those things that was really, really cool. I can't help though, but play devil's advocate. What it would have been like if he was going up against Georgia. Because remember, Ole Miss ended up beating Georgia. If Miami ended up going against Georgia, what that would have looked like with all the storylines and stuff like that. But you never know. On the other side, Trinidad Chambliss, for those who didn't know, he had filed for a 6th year of eligibility, and it was denied by the NCAA. So he has no other option but to go into the draft. That young man has everything that you want in a quarterback, all of it, from the arm, the legs, the smarts, everything, except for the height. And that's going to be probably the reason why he'll get drafted. Hopefully he gets drafted into a situation where he may be he's going to probably be a day 2 quarterback. But he gets drafted into a situation where they have a good coaching system, whether it's a Minnesota type, whether it's a he ends up going to, well, I want to say the Packers, but I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know, man, but yeah, height is going to be his restriction, and it's not like the same type of height that we saw with Dylan Gabriel. Trinidad Chambliss is much better quarterback than Gabriel was, and unfortunately, that's there's not a lot of quarterbacks is being drafted like the Drew Breeses of the world and stuff like that. That's not happening anymore. Some of these guys aren't as successful in the league. They're not the Kyler Murray's. They just don't have all of those tools and that stockiness that they need on there. Before I go any further, let's bring in another member, man, of our well-rounded crew, man. We got our official statistician, man, G Breezy in the building. He's decked out with a Lions, a pillow in the back. He got his Jags playing today. He's all over the place. He's all over the place.
Decided to have the Lions in the back.
Yeah. Before we go on to the next semifinal game, G, what was your takeaway, man, from that Miami Ole Miss game?
Surprising, I guess, because again, Miami getting as far as they did, considering they were on the outs to get to the playoffs to begin with, and so it's kind of almost like a Cinderella, if you will, right? They weren't supposed to be there, but they're there, and they're getting all the way to the finals. So a little bit impressive with that. Hail Mary, is it a pass interference? You can argue either way, but you also don't want that to be make or break part of the game. It would have been 15 yards, not 1 yard line like the pros. But, the best team ended up winning, or the team that needed to win won. So we're going to have the ACC versus the Big Ten in the championship, which is pretty much what it was going to be unless the SEC started. We'll take it.
I'm glad you said that on the Miami side. Coach Nick Saban, he said it himself, and it rang true. He said that if they allowed Miami, this is before they got into the playoff, he said if they allowed Miami to get into the college football playoff, they would by far be the dangerous team. And I believe them because of what they had on there. Their only thing that we just said a few moments ago that could hold them back was their coach, to be perfectly honest, and their quarterback to a certain extent. But if they go in and play the Miami football that they were capable of doing, they would be the most dangerous team. And, it kind of rang true. It's physical. To be honest, that game was 31-27. That game, physically and everything, it wasn't as close as the score was. Miami was dominating them, but it was some penalties here, some broken plays there, things like that kept this game what it was. But that game could have easily been a walkthrough for Miami.
I remember looking at one of the stats early on in the game. I think it was getting close to halftime, but I was just showing the time of play disparity.
Crazy.
Time of play and the yardage. I was like, wait, why is the game only this close? And then clearly dominating on every facet of the ball. So it was ended up being a good game without having any skin in the game, though. So it was a good football game. As unlike the other one, that was just a dramatic beatdown from the minute they said go, but Indiana just wiping the floor with it.
Yeah, Miami had the ball for 41 minutes. Ole Miss had it for 18. There's only 60 minutes in it. At one point, I know when they showed the play discrepancy, it was like 80-something ran plays to like 30-something for Ole Miss. And they just but was
that a shot at Miami or was that a shot at Ole Miss? Because again, I only had the ball for 18 minutes. You got them only down 4 points.
That's where they started. That is almost like it was they did that thing that we all want our NFL teams to do. Hey, we want you to lean in what makes you great. Do what got you there. Now, thing is, though, these young kids are built a little different. So it didn't weigh on the defense as much for Ole Miss as you thought. Because here, Miami wasn't capitalizing when they needed to. But leaning into the emotions of it, they are still kids in certain attributes. So all of a sudden, it's 4th and 2. You think you got them. They running the ball down your throat. They hitting you like that defense. Man, that defense for Miami, they grown, man, bro. Like they hitting Bain and they hitting. And it hurts after a while. Luckily, it wasn't cold weather, so they ain't really, ain't really affect. Moving to the other side, a game that was over before you can blink. Indiana at Oregon. I prefaced that because I was saying that when Mario Cristobal was coaching in Oregon would be the tops up there. And all of a sudden, I feel like we've been talking about this forever. Oregon has always been in these moments where, hey, man, they're going to be the team to beat, so forth and so on. And then they get into that big moment and they get dusted. And Curt Cignetti, that coach, 2 years in, and I think Earl said it last week, he's lost 2 games in the 2 years he's been there. And those 2 games was last season. They came in undefeated. They beat the brakes off of Oregon, bro. That score could have easily been like 80-something. But, what was your takeaway from that game? Yeah.
I want to go back to what I mentioned last week. And I said it a couple times about Indiana. That's a professionally ran squad. And what I mean by it is I'm not talking about all these professional players. They are a professionally ran squad from top to bottom. Because if you go look at players, if you're going by star ranking, it's definitely not to the status of what Oregon put on the field. 5 and 4 star players. So what does that tell you? I told you in the trenches when I was looking at certain video.
But I think I've aged you well.
Is that you?
Some might say perfect.
Yeah, I know, my bad. You get.
Oh, no, that was wait a minute.
My Bluetooth was
doing commercial spots. I was like, whoa, I was blown off. I was like, oh, all right. Gotta work that in there.
Yeah, it's connected to my phone. And I'm like, all right, what's happening here? There's a reason for that. But go ahead.
So I'm sitting back and I'm watching. I was telling Shawn offline, I said, when you pay attention to just the trenches, the ugly stuff, the stuff that's not pretty, watch the movement of that offensive line by itself. Just watch them on plays. It's perfection, bro. It is perfection. They are at the right spot at the right time when they're playing. You know it's something when I'm looking at them move more than the running back that's running behind them or the quarterback that's throwing on the pass protection. I'm like, whoa, look at this pocket. Whoa, look at this opening here. You just got to pick where you got to go. And that's it. And that is true perfection. That is a professionally ran team that they see nothing but the finish line, bro. Don't talk to me about even when the game's over. All right, cool. Yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
You went to coach after the game. He's like, man, I'm thinking about going and get a bed, man. That's what I'm going to go do. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what? I'm going to go get my bed, and then we'll get back on to this, and we'll figure it out. I'm not saying like they're totally relaxed and they ain't worried, but the thing is, they know. They're a team that knows if they show up, they're scared of no one, and they feel no one will beat them. You know how some teams like, man, if we can get around them, we'll be all right. They don't care who you throw on that field and who you put out there because that's more their aura anyway. That's more their legacy. They want to face the best of the best. They want to see everybody, so there's no excuses. That's the type of team that you're dealing with there. So when you go and you break down their team, I mean, just listen, since we got the statistician on here, let me just say this one stat. And off this one stat, you could tell there was no way that they were losing. Third down conversion, 11 to 14. How do you lose?
Third down.
11 of 14. Only 3 times they went to fourth down. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And that game was over. Even the points that you see that Oregon put on that board, that game was over. Any of those stats you see, padded that game was over. You hear me? Like,
look, it's funny that you say that, and I'm gonna let you get in right after this, Gary. So we were just talking about the Miami and Ole Miss discrepancy as far as time. So Miami had the ball for 41 minutes. Ole Miss had it for 18 minutes. You see the score for the Indiana-Oregon game, 56-22. Indiana had the ball for 31 minutes. Oregon had the ball for 28. So it's pretty even. They actually had more total yards on Oregon's side than Indiana. You had turnovers. You saw that pick six right out the block. You saw the completion percentage. Mendoza had 3 incompletions. 3 incompletions. He was averaging per throw damn near first down. It was 8.9 per pass. Every time he passed, it was pretty much a first down. Just like that. And they didn't even go for it on fourth down. They were 0 for 0. They didn't have to because they was beating the shit out of them from the jump.
That's it.
And he only passed for 177 yards, but they ran the ball for almost 200 yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
177.
What you got, G?
He threw 177, 5 touchdowns. Like you said, total yards. IU had 378 to Oregon's 362. So it wasn't about yards disparity. We could also argue with some of those Oregon yards in garbage time as well. But I mean, it was just hands down from beginning to end. As soon as you turn the game on, they were already down 3 scores. Right? So
easy.
I liked the game yesterday when somebody was up big and then choked out. You knew that game was handled from the moment that we started watching. Like, this is going to continue on. It's funny because, like you said before, Oregon has been known to just be able to get to these games and still show up, and then they get to the final game, and then what happened to them? I'm thinking back to the regular season tour where IU barely beat Penn State, right? And Penn State was a joke this year as compared to the Penn State of old. And yet, Oregon could barely do anything in Indiana in this game here. So it just makes me think this game against IU and Miami in Miami's backyard, like which team is going to truly be able to put their imprint on the entire game and show up and show out? Is it going to be more of us watching the sideline and seeing these Michael Irvin BTA transactions, or is Signetti going to have his saving face on and putting that BTA have the team just speak about it on the field? What did he say when he first got there? Google me. I do nothing but win.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
he lying, bro.
They got 2 losses in 2 years.
You know when someone is coaching, Gary, when you're killing the team. I've shown this in college basketball and different things. You're killing the team, and you couldn't tell by the coach. You cannot tell by the coach. Like, they're looking for perfection. They're like, what the hell? You know very well. I showed that Izzo, talked about that Izzo video all the time. When I'm over there talking with Cleves, and Cleves is like, yeah, man, I don't care how much we were up by.
First and foremost, what you're not gonna do is just throw out with Team Cleves just so casual, like, yeah, you know.
Hey. We got a little thing back and forth. I mean, even though we lost yesterday, we don't want to talk basketball right now. But
it's only one loss yesterday.
Get back to the Oregon and Indiana. You could have kind of saw this walking in. Oregon had an extremely easy path to where they got to. They played JMU, which no slouch of JMU, but I watched that game, and just the speed of Oregon overwhelmed JMU. They were scoring like at a minute and a half at a clip. And then they end up, JM in garbage time, say what you want, but they still end up putting up like 30-some points on them on the backside. Then they played Texas Tech. They blew them out. And I feel like going in, Dan Lanning and them might have had a false sense of, what their team really was. And you played Indiana before. You lost to Indiana. So you kind of should have known what you was walking into, but I guess they thought they was going to overwhelm them.
Indiana knew what they were walking into also.
Exactly. And with that is, Indiana is a very disciplined team, and we're going to transition right into the national championship game, man. They are playing.
Before you jump all the way in there, let me just throw this question out to both of y'all. Since you brought up JMU and we were talking about Miami making the cut to get in, if Notre Dame was in there, what do you think they would have done?
I think they would have lost. I think they would have lost.
Yeah.
I think the Notre Dame would have been the same thing. We've been talking about Notre Dame the same way we talked about Oregon, I believe.
So Notre Dame, just for example, I don't know how it would have broken down. Say they would have fit in where JMU was and they played like Oregon. Oregon would have. You think they would have got them?
I think if they was in, I think they would have been in the Miami spot. I think because they were both right there. Okay. They would have been. They would have had the same role as Miami.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So I don't.
Miami was never in it, and then all of a sudden, finally showed his Miami ahead of Notre Dame or whatever. So Notre Dame was in the championship last year, right? So we can't just say like they potentially couldn't turn it on to make a run.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
So again, that's why I said
I just think
we really don't know. But the fact of how quickly they picked up their ball and went home. Do they have the fortitude for the coach down to actually be up there playing it in there or whatever? And they could have satisfied this by just, hey, let me actually join a conference. They had the opportunity to join the Big Ten conference before all the super conference stuff, but they felt it was so elite. And obviously got that NBC money for the TV rights.
They were in ACC for that 1 year. They gave them an olive branch during that COVID year, and they were with the ACC for that 1 year. They had that agreement, and then they decided, all right, cool, we're going to stay out here because, again, they get all the money. They don't share, revenue sharing, something like that. Newsflash.
They took all of their money last year instead of having to spread it out to anybody else.
Yeah, Miami doesn't share that money. Apparently, with them winning them getting into the college football national championship, so they don't do any of their revenue sharing with the ACC. That all goes to Miami. It's like something like I saw it. It's like something like 20 mil that they get. They don't share that with anybody. So I'm gonna confirm it, but I saw it and I was looking at a report because I was looking at a bunch of stuff. They don't share any of that stuff. So I'm like,
having their own rules then.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. So you guys, yeah. I'm like, all right, it's fine. But it's going down. It is going down, and I got to do this because it's the first time that a college football playoff national champion is playing at the house, and they couldn't play at any better house than Hard Rock Stadium. And I will say it's going to be up all damn week. Yes, it is. Miami is going to be stupid for the whole week that they out. Hey, so it's a once in a lifetime thing. I feel like so. I'm in a space now where I want to try to do these things. So I thought, let's go down that rabbit hole real quick. Because the wife said, hey, you guys gonna try to go to that game? I'm like, man, listen, the nosebleed seats for Hard Rock Stadium for the national championship game is $3,400. The nosebleeds are $3,400 at Hard Rock. Right. I saw a seat that, Davis man was like spots where we sat at when we went to go see like the Commanders. So seats kind of like that close. $13,000 for that game. There are Miami fans that I've been talking to literally who live down there and say, man, we just gonna tailgate. And some of the tailgate joints are in there anywhere from like 200 to 600 in there. It's wild. And then so I go in, I said, well, what if we just take a flight down there, just be in the atmosphere, find a cheap joint there? I'm looking at Javen. He said, but I got to work though, Dad. Because he has like, he has responsibility. So he has inventory and stuff right now. Found a cheap flight on Southwest to get us down there and get us back. But he's working. And I'm like, we just go turn up at the house there, brother. That's what we gonna do. But man, oh man, even at home, Miami is the clear underdog here. Right now, IU, they are favored by 7.5. And Miami, they're playing against a team that, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they've played against a quarterback like this all season. Mendoza is built like the Peyton Mannings of the world, the Ryan Leafs, the Phillip Rivers, 6'5", stout, arm, smarts. He can move a little bit. But to your point, Dave, they outran. Yeah, the Kyle's Ryan Leaf, not the post. Yeah, Kyle's Ryan Leaf. Yeah, right. But they are up against a team that is kind of similar to them. They gonna hit. They gonna run the ball. But the biggest question for Miami is the secondary is gonna be to hold up, because they can get a little loose out there, and can they be disciplined? You can't have no penalties and stuff like that. So, what you guys got, man? It's gonna be a good game, bro. It's gonna be a good game. The atmosphere is gonna be stupid.
I'll let Gary go first.
I'm hoping for a good game. I'm hoping that everything that's transpired thus far hasn't put us to situations where they either burnt out, put it all on the field already, or anything of that nature. Because we still have to consider this is what, 16 games now that they'll be playing.
It'll be 16 games. I want to say this is 16 because they were 14 and 0. Yeah, so it'll be 16 games. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're going into kind of uncharted territory for some of these players, to where, from a football perspective, they're perhaps overextending themselves. One will hope that Signetti and Cristobal has them trained up. A long story, long-winded way of saying, I don't know. I just think right now, IU being the number one team, they've proven that they could overcome some situations that you didn't expect them to have, i.e. that Penn State game, and with the last second touchdown in the back of the end zone, that was just crazy, one of the craziest catches of the season. And Miami, it's in their backfield, so they have a little bit of a home field advantage with that. So we'll have to have to travel and everything of that nature, but IU travels.
Yeah, so they did. As you saw. Yeah. So
I think that it's going to come down to coaching. And so if I have to go to coaching, I'm going to have to go to Signetti, just based on what he's been able to prove over these last 3+ years, right? So the 2 at IU plus JMU, right? So he has a track record. Behind that, Cristobal also has a winning track record, but he has those, when the moment gets great, he sometimes overthinks a situation. And while the play call isn't necessarily the worst situation, the potential resulting execution of said play, but there being so many opportunities of it to be failing, and he makes that choice, and then the team fails by executing in a fumble or things of that nature. So he has that. So I'm think it's going to be, if I had to guess, I don't know, 35-24 IU.
Oh man, you're giving scores. You're disrespectful. I don't even like it. Thought we were friends.
Other people. So I mean, I'm hoping for a good game, but again,
thought we were friends.
As big of a Miami fan as you are, you also have to be honest about the fact that this is probably your toughest opponent that you're playing. And it's not like when the SEC goes and plays up against a Big Ten team or ACC team and challenge, like they have all of these stars and players and bigger and better. It's the ACC versus the Big Ten, and their players are, because of so much transfer portal too. Like, so it's really not just about the fact that you are getting all these homegrown 400-pound all muscle people. Like you got your pickings, and so I think because of that, IU has a slight edge there. So What about you, Mr. D?
I think it's nice that Miami made it here. I'm going to start off that way. They have impressed me to get to this point. But if I'm just being honest, and I'm putting on my betting hat now, if I'm just being honest, I just think Indiana's at a different level. And what's crazy about it is it's something that I mentioned earlier. They're not even at a different level player to player wise. If you go down your roster, I guarantee you that Miami has more 5 and 4 stars than Indiana has.
Indiana don't even have any 5 stars.
Well, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah,
between 5 and 4 stars and things like that, I guarantee you. So what does that tell you? That they are so dominant that they don't even have the quote unquote level of players in all that all these other teams have. Not just the Miami, all these other teams have.
Yeah.
It tells you that stuff is just moving differently there. And some of those things, you know, you either have or you don't in the building. That's why I always tell people, like, you can tell when culture is not in the building, and then you see that culture shift, which we're going to discuss when we get to the NFL in a moment. But when you see that culture shift, more than just coaching X and O's, just a culture shift, and everybody's on that same level and everybody's on that belief factor, you'll be surprised how you perform. Forget sports, just business in general. You'll be surprised how you perform when everybody is on the same agenda as you and everybody's working towards that same goal. And they're not going to let anything stand in their way. And they know that they got the full backing of whoever's there. That's how they run. That's how it is there.
Yeah.
That joint is a system in place, and let's just go get it. I'm not worried as long as the system is in place, and that's how they do it. So on Miami side, a lot of things, man. A lot of things got to go right. And I can see it happen. Would I be surprised if it was close? No. Would I be surprised if Miami won? Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that I'm just interested in seeing, I know we gave praise to him earlier. I want to see Beck under those bright lights.
I'm glad you say that.
What are you going to do?
This is going to be a game, and I agree with you both. You know, I'm going to ride with my Canes. You know, I'm riding with them. But it's going to be a tough game because for Miami, they can lean on the defense, okay? But the defense, and this isn't the Baltimore Ravens 2000 defense where they're scoring points. You know, they're getting the stops and stuff. They can, but that's going to be a heavy load. They're going to lean on Fletcher. They're going to lean on the young boy, Malachi Tony and CJ Daniels and whatnot. But to your point, it all has to start with Carson Beck. And there was times, even this game that they won, where Carson Beck, man, made some decisions that Ole Miss didn't really capitalize on. And to a certain extent, until it got down to the end, it kind of kept Ole Miss in there. It's just one of those things. The play calling at times, it baffles me sometimes why we doing this certain thing. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the Indiana squad, their team makeup is like my Eastern Michigan squad in college football. I ain't got no 5 stars, bro. I got some 4 stars and a bunch of 3s. I think I saw a graphic. I think they got like 7 4 stars, and they had a ton of 3 stars compared to what Oregon had. But going back to Miami side, they moved, they hit, they got speed. That horizontal screen joint, while Malachi Tony can hit those gaps and go. Indiana, man, going back to your point, they are very disciplined. They did not let Oregon do the things they wanted to do, and that can become very frustrating for a offensive coordinator. I'm speaking from from experience. When all of a sudden you start to press, like, all right, man, you start to do things out. They get you outside of your character, and next thing you know, you look up and you down. And if that happens, them playing against Miami, and they start doing things as forcing Carson Beck to make these decisions that accuracy comes into play. And he's been accurate, but he can also just fall off the wagon. It's going to be a tough day. For me, I know it's a 7.5. I think this game is going to be a touchdown game. I can see this game being one where it's going to be low scoring. Like I don't think it's going to be as eventful as like the previous games. I think this could end up coming down to where we're looking at something along the lines of like a 22 to maybe 18 game or something like that. It's going to be very low scoring. I feel like I think both coaches are going to kind of like be playing chess, waiting for somebody to make that mistake. And then they're going to lean on their running game. And that's where it's going to be health. Because I think Gary is saying who's going to be the healthiest. Because injury at the wrong time, whoever loses their running back or something like that is going to be the reason that
that's
I
why I
think
say anything can happen. You can
never
put 100% on anything.
Yeah.
Without Mendoza, then we're a whole different story, right? And that's kind of what we saw with the team. I forgot what team it was last year. Was it Miami last year? Yeah. So like, y'all got screwed last year because your quarterback went down. So then they felt y'all couldn't compete, which is very subjective. As far as the game, though, the spread right now is 7.5.
7.5, yeah.
With the over/under at 48.5. So they're looking at those 20 to 30-point scores. So we'll see what happens.
It's gonna be interesting. I'll say this though. This being the case, Miami's back, man, and I mean back from a standpoint of them being able to get, not from them being able to now compete and get the players. Like now, okay, they're going to be able to attract like the players at critical spots. Really, they can get like there hasn't been Miami hasn't really had like the big quarterback names. They're Vinny Testaverde, Ken Dorsey, but those guys ain't they're not the guy. They've always had the defensive players, the skills players, the running backs. Hell, we got a offensive lineman, and Dave, you can appreciate this, that I want to play in Washington. That mofo is massive, bro.
They're talking about him for the Giants.
Yes, dear Lord, like him, like they're going to be able to now pull in some of those players that might have went to Clemson or might have went to Florida State. Maybe some of those Georgia players and stuff like that. Miami's going to be able to do that now for them getting to this point. But this is not a time for moral victories. I want them to go in and win this chip. If they go in and win this chip, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be ridiculous. It's fine. I'm going to be ridiculously out of control. And Earl gonna say something like ridiculous, like they're comparing us to Cowboys fans. Fuck it. I'm going to be ridiculous for like the next year, And that being the case, let me go ahead and bring in our other end of the foursome here. I actually created a graphic, created a thing, the setup for this to make sure, because I knew we was gonna have four of us here. I knew it.
Oh, there you go.
Knew it. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he did. It's just screwed, man. Real quick, man, before we pivot to the NFL side, I need what you think about the first game being Ole Miss and the Ole Miss Miami game, and then the Indiana Oregon game. What was your takeaways from both games, and then what's your perceived outcome for the national championship?
I'll put these on. So first, I'll say, Shawn, I apologize. You guys are back.
Thank you.
My dislike for Miami isn't with the University of Miami or the football squad. I just don't like Betts. I just don't think he's good. I still don't think he's good. This is only his last year. It's fine. Cool. I know. He just surrounded by some good players. And to be honest with you, like that defense is a problem. Fletcher literally put them on his back. Washington, I need y'all to get him. And Tony, he woke up. He woke up last game. He was stupid. I wish he would have did that a game before that when he only had like 23 yards or something like that. Sounds like betting talk. Sounds like betting to me. But now he want to show what he's capable of doing. So 18 years old, young bull out there. So shout out to them. So that's that with that. Indiana is the real deal, and I've been saying this to people, and I'm just like, yo. Even though it's a basketball school, that football team is real. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I really feel like they're gonna win. They're gonna win everything. I mean, they are BTA and everybody. Okay. And it's not even close. Like the way that they whooped up on Oregon was ridiculous. Disrespectful. Mighty disrespectful. So I think Indiana's gonna win, but I do want to say, like Shawn, I do apologize. I've been giving you a little bit of gripe this whole season, but it's not because I dislike Miami. It's just because you dislike me. I don't like Beck. But you are turning into a Cowboys, one of those Cowboys folks. Yeah, I heard what you said when I was in the studio.
That's all I got to say to you, brother.
At least that's better than the first thing you played.
Lord have mercy. What was it? What did you play?
Let's not even go back there.
It was like a commercial that pulled up. Actually, I was on the ESPN site, and it has like the little window there. So it started playing like something for like erectile dysfunction or something like that. I don't know what's going on. It was kind of weird. It was just it was kind of weird. Oh man! Before we pivot over to the NFL side, of course, this is Football Talk Live, powered by DUBBY, and of course, that means no sugar, no jitters, no crash. That means you're going to be able to do whatever you need to do, whether you're a content creator, streamer, podcaster, musician, or you just need a pick-me-up. The best tasting in class energy drink, you can go for it. You don't believe me? Go over to dubby.gg. Go ahead and put in our code, the Hot Tea Podcast, in your order, and go ahead and get 10% off your entire transaction. Personally, I do like the Dragonade on there, and I'm still rocking with that. Go ahead and try it with the sample pack. Go ahead with one of the tubs, whatever you want, man. But again, let them know the Hot Tea Podcast sent you by putting in our code, the Hot Tea Podcast. Get 10% off of your DUBBY order. DUBBY Energy, official partner of the Hot Seed Podcast. G, you still making it through that tub on there, or is it how's it working out for you? Yeah. Okay, how's it make you feel?
It works. So I don't mind it.
Let's see. There we go. There we go.
Before we pivot, a quick question for you, SX. And with the question that you asked earlier about what if Notre Dame. So just another what if question. With all the 4 coaches that were into the semifinals, all being Saban acolytes, do you think that any of them could still beat Saban if Saban was still in the coaching?
No. The closest person, maybe the person that's most like him, is Cignetti. I think he would probably be the one, because all these other ones, you can kind of tell how they just they're missing that one thing. Like Nick Saban controlled the entire sideline. Everybody. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, you're not going to get this. You're not going to get out of sorts. You're not going to cost us this game. I saw it from Cristobal, and I applaud him for that. When things started to get a little awry, he called the timeout when he should. Hey, calm down. Look at the OC. Hey, slow down. Those are the type of things you need to do. Dan Lanning and the other coach, they were, they're still feeling their way out. I think Cignetti will probably be the one that will give them a run. Now again, Nick Saban teams, they had monsters out there. I don't know if they will be, the talent will probably be the reason that coach would overwhelm Indiana. But I don't think he's Nick Saban for a reason, bro. He's Nick Saban for a reason, like for sure. Let's get on to the NFL side, man. We had some games that go down last night, and it was wild. Wild card Saturday, wild card weekend has started. Some really good games, some games that shoulda, coulda, woulda, but probably should have went the other way. Starting off with the Rams at Panthers. Panthers in the playoffs for the first time since 2015, I think it was, 2015, 2017. They bring out Cam Newton, who damn near put a hole in the drum out there. And fact for you guys, so I went to the William & Mary HU game a couple of years ago. And at the time, Cam Newton's, I think, brother was playing for William & Mary. Me and my brother Stephon was out there. So Cam Newton was out there. He had the hat on and everything, but no security. He was on the sideline. Well, why would we? That'd be off in the bleachers. So they got to meet him and whatnot. Bruh. We've all done it. When you go make your creative player in whether it's NBA or NFL, that mofo, legit. He looks like an action figure, bro. Like it's insane. So it's when you built like that, you don't need no security, none at all. When I saw him get in that fight with like those players that a couple of years ago, he probably would have dog walked them. He's built the little. And he's from Atlanta too. The real part of Atlanta. He's real cool dude, but he big as shit. I ain't gonna lie. Anyway, but he went out there. He was out there. The stadium was packed down in Charlotte, and the Panthers were giving the Rams all they could handle. But Puka Nacua decided, hey, guys, this is not going to happen today on my watch, it felt like. And the Panthers had the opportunity. Bryce Young looks like they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. That young man, he has battled his way back, bro. I like what I saw. I was actually rooting for Carolina to win that game. I just want to see them guys just do something, considering everything they've been through. But they pulled it out. They pulled it out, man. What would you guys take away from this Rams Panthers game? Because I got a really pivotal question to ask after you guys give your takes.
I mean, shout out to the defense, because the Panthers defense was hooping. Like, you know, I was rooting for the Panthers too, and I gotta apologize to what's the quarterback from the Panthers?
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. Yeah, because I didn't think he was an NFL caliber QB. You know, I thought he was just a person that was on a good team at Alabama. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like he's undersized, but you know, he's showing that he does belong. And actually too, I actually like what the Panthers are building, because all of those guys are young. And this is what if you see, this is what Giants need to be paying attention to when you build around some young players. You just got to find the right nucleuses, you know. Like, you don't gotta have, they got a young stud in McMillan, you know what I'm saying? But they got some other serviceable pieces like Coker. You know what I'm saying? Leggett, if he could get consistent, you know, I think Coker has definitely surpassed him. Then you got, you know, Jimmy Horn, let him get some touches. I know he dropped that pass, but I mean, all fairness, he only had 2 targets. You know what I'm saying? So, and they came in at the last 2 minutes, so that's not fair. You know, Tremble, you know, then they got some young stuff, you know, they got Rico Dow, who he was kind of off, you know, last night, you know, and Hubbard was actually hooping, you know, but you know, shout out to the Panthers. They ain't got nothing to hang their head on. What I will say to the Rams, though, the Rams need to kick it up, and Puka can't be the only.
Yeah, before you get there, let them get their takes, because I believe my question is going to go into what you're talking about now. What you guys got, Dave? G.
So G, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. To go to your Bryce Young comment, I think before you got on, the guys were talking about statures and whether or not some of these quarterbacks could actually fit in here, like Murray and things of that nature. You got Bryce at 5'10", looking like might be 110 pounds soaking wet because of his brain. So yeah. And let's not forget, he was just benched, right? So they literally were like, he may not be the future of his team. So for him to take that and build from it, I think that might be also something for Anthony Richardson to look at. Like, so just because you get benched don't mean it's the end all be all. Right. But this game specifically, I looked at it as the football deities were definitely trying to put as much as they could without deciding the game to say, Carolina, y'all want this, y'all can take this. A couple drops here or there, but then when you have Puka Nacua driving down, might as well be a touchdown with the ball is in his hands and he just drops it. That's like so uncanny, so unlike him. So I figured that the Panthers just had it. But then, as a Detroit Lions fan, there's one person who I just know, like Matt Stafford, going to do what Matt Stafford's going to do. And that is when it comes down to fourth quarter overtimes, while his overall record might show that, oh, well, he's been a losing quarterback. In those moments, when the game is where he can actually win it, he's proven time and time again throughout his tenure at both Detroit as well as with the Rams that give him that time. The Patrick Mahomes, the Tom Brady's, give me that time in the fourth quarter, and you might regret it. And I think Carolina was trying to do a little bit of that and then just kind of forgot. And their defense did what we all say you should never do. Stop playing prevent defense because it prevents
you from winning. Yep.
And so that's literally what they end up dealing with, to where trying to hope and pray to come back with Bryce Young. He doesn't have that acumen yet to be able to pull off the skills of some of these experienced players. And I think experience has played out. So the Rams have been there. You made the comment about the Rams might want to get together. I think the Rams are they're playing what's in front of them. And probably read the press clippings, probably like on paper, like there's no way we should lose to this team. Yeah, we lost to them beforehand, but we're going to take care of this. Carolina just showed up. Everybody thought of Carolina at the beginning of the season. They were saying Carolina's probably going to win the division, but will they? Like 4 or 5 games of the season, like, Carolina's falling back. And they proved to you, they couldn't win. They couldn't string together 2-3 wins in a row. They were stringing together enough to get to the playoffs, and this is where we're happy. But I also didn't want the Panthers to go further, only because of the premise of I don't think any less than 500 teams should make the playoffs in general, just a rule. So until they fix that, it is what it is. But it was a good game that I thought was not going to be as such, just based on the fact that the Rams had already lost. And I think they put everything on the field, and the better team overall made the right place at the right time, and Matt Stafford at the helm just kind of took care of it. We'll see how that plays out with his hand since he got that checked out. If that's going to play any difference for the future games. But as far as this game is concerned, it was a pretty good football game to sit and observe with no skin in the game. Dave?
Yeah, sorry.
My take is going to sound weird because you're going to think the team that I praised won and the team that won lost. The Panthers, great job. They reminded me when you were just talking about it, Gary, as far as a team sneaking into the playoffs without a winning record. This was Seattle. That's what the Carolina Panthers were. This was Seattle, and they didn't give, what? They knew I'm here, and you should be more scared than what you are. I give it up for, Bryce Young. I know we didn't say his name, but I know y'all were expressing to give praise on this side of things. Coaching once again. Canals. You know what I mean? Gary pointed it out. I believe that was more of a strategic move than, hey, I'm just benching you. No, I need you to slow down and look at this game from a different view, because you're out there. You're not only getting killed, you're making the wrong decisions while you're getting killed. like you just need to slow down and look. And I think it was one of the best coaching jobs ever to do that. You don't have a Cam Newton. You don't have a Steve Smith. You don't have a Christian McCaffrey. Think about all these players passing through there. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have these guys sitting there doing all these things. But, you got this nucleus where, I've been saying it the whole time, belief. They believe. They brought in and they believe. You got to doubt. Think about Hubbard being the guy and then having to play behind somebody that came in for you and then was shining, and then having to earn your spot back to kind of build yourself up to get back on the field. And now they're sharing. But hey, whatever I got to do in whatever situation, coach. You know what I mean? Like, they're playing together, and I love seeing that type of nucleus. So that's on the losing side. On the winning side, I've been a Rams bandwagoner for probably about 3 or 4 years of us doing this show. Oh, the Rams are healthy. They're going to take it. Oh, yeah. You don't want to see the Rams. We've all been sitting back saying these different things. They're overrated, bro. I'm going to say it to you. Forget the roster for a moment. If you go to the roster, you'll be like, once again, how the hell is this even close? They're overrated. And where I'm going to go on the overrated is what nobody's going to say. McVay, for all your strategic ways about you and the praise that you get, there should be some shame too, because you're not putting people in the right position to do certain things. Yes, Puka had the one big drop that would have easily been a touchdown, but you can't say nothing about Puka, because how many games has he carried them? Even this game, I mean, the guy has final stats at halftime. Like, it's a wrap. So I'm never gonna say anything on the Puka side of things. But I remember when everybody was scared to have like a Kyron Matthews in the back. Williams in the backfield. It's like he doesn't even exist. He does a couple runs here and there, but I mean, okay. You're trying to pull Blake Corum into there and things like that. That's cool. I just feel like it's like a run and gun type of thing that they're doing, and it doesn't happen throughout the whole game. If it clicks through the whole game, great. But sometimes you just need like those couple of big stops that they don't get. I remember when we used to be scared of the Rams defense. What happened to that?
That was when Wade Phillips was there.
They had a young this was just recently. Like, nucleus, and they're gonna be doing their thing. Who was it, like Verse and everybody like that?
This one Ramsey and Donald.
Talk about no Rams defense. Now I'm putting on my betting cap. Like, when you picking defenses for certain, that one of the last things you think about. You think about that run and gun as far as their offense. And sometimes I think we get lost and what we think a team should do than what they're actually doing. They're underperforming, man. Gary led to it. They're playing to their competition. They are underperforming. They should have killed the Carolina Panthers.
That leads right to my
overrated though, real quick. SX is we also don't want to be in the moment and forget where the season started. Stafford wanted to be there. Right. So this team was going to be.
Yeah, we were trying to get him.
Yeah,
we talked. His back was supposed to be out. And all these type of things.
Yes. He did. He needed a bacchiotomy. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You get that back surgery. It's a wrap anyway. So the overrated might be a little bit.
So what's the excuse for the years before that?
Let me ask you then, though. Here's the question: Matthew Stafford or McVay will cost the Rams. There's a couple.
Go ahead.
Which one more? Because I lean towards.
I didn't know you were gonna ask that question, so that kind of led off of what I was saying.
And that's what I said, because there's times it's two parts of this can go, because to your point, yes, McVay starts to do the thing. He starts to want to show his genius, and he starts to call the games in ways where you don't really need to, and you end up putting yourself in positions where you can end up losing the game, and then it looks great when they're trying to battle back and they do win. It's like, oh man, it looks like a genius, but did you really have to do that? Look at the Philadelphia Eagles game last season that they should have beat the Eagles, but you can look at pivotal calls that put them in that position. At the same time, Matthew Stafford, yes, stats is crazy, but Matt is going to give that game away potentially. And I saw it a couple times last night, that interception that the defender from Carolina should have had, but Puka just made a play on it. But there's a couple times during the game that Matthew Stafford be like, I don't want it. I'm gonna give it back to you. But which one is gonna be the one?
Stay right there for a second. Stay right there for a second. And then Bryce, towards the end of the game, you could have been thinking that you were looking at the Ravens, because every wide receiver was dropping the ball, bro. Like, I mean, right in their hands. This could have easily went the other way. And then we would have a totally different discussion right now. Watch the last drive by itself. How many drops happened? He's putting it right there. How many drops happened?
Yeah.
Like,
and he was getting in that second half, bro. He didn't have no time to throw. So every time that he threw the ball, it was precious. Like, I need y'all to catch this ball.
It was. And his arm isn't strong enough for him to get the ball out there quickly. It's more like, it's almost like it's more like the Shador type. Shador his arm doesn't have the strength on it, so when he has that pressure and he's backpedaling, he can't get that that force on it to where it really gets to the receiver, and then you get them like kind of lame duck passes. But again, I asked a question: Matt or McVay gonna be the reason that the Rams don't win a chip this year?
I already said mine, because I said McVay. Matthew Stafford will hold them back from winning through his injury.
Earl, I'll say
that hand may be a problem.
You made a comment about the fact that Bryce was on the run, which would beg to say that the Rams defense must have been doing something. So
in the second half.
So it kind of the question about their defense being there. Yeah. I'll say the same comment that I made earlier when it was about Cristobal. So Cristobal is trying to be, like you were saying, Shawn, invincive and making these plays. But as long as the execution works, then there's no question about the play. Right. So then you're not going to blame the coach, you blame the player. But then with Matt is from that school of the Favres, right? And that's that gunslinger mentality. And he could throw the ball from so many different angles that he's just going to try it. And he's going to believe that I can get that. Golf is suffering from that same situation to where if I let this ball go, it's going to go where I'm going to get it to because I got enough zip on it, or I just know my player's going to make a play for it. And that's why you'll have a game to where Matt Stafford can throw 4 interceptions real quick. Yeah, it's just easy to have a game to where he goes 25 or 26 with 4 touchdowns. And so if I had to choose one, I'm going to have to choose the people on the field who actually make the play versus the coach calling the play. So I will give it to Stafford. Would cost you before I would say that your coach will cost you, because I'm going to call the play. And that play should work in most situations. But if you make the wrong decision in said play, then that's the situation. Coaching, if I say the American run versus the pass and you decide to audible out of it, again, I can't control that because I'm not on the field at the present moment. So I'll give it to the players who actually make it so Stafford could cost or be the reason why a team would win or lose.
Okay, I'm gonna transition to the next inch for the sake of time, and then transition to the next game because this came down to coaching. This game was, and the other game on the side there, the Packers at Bears. This was coaching.
Absolutely.
This was coaching, and this is where. And now to your point, to where I said Matt before, but now I'm thinking about it as a former coach. Coaching cost the Packers this game.
Sure did.
You not understanding that pivotal thing. What me and Dave were talking about last week. Forget all the analytics, guys. Read the room. Know where the momentum is. I know you can't quantify what momentum really is, but it's a thing. When it don't feel right, you know you need to fix. You need to slow things down, i.e. going back to Cristobal. You saw Miami was getting a little out of sorts. He told me, hey, slow down. We got to slow down. This game right here was out of hand. But I've seen this before as a partial Green Bay fan / owner. I've seen this where
he been set tripping.
Pack it up, and it's craziness. They out there, they got cheese graters and real cheese in the stands. That's some bullshit. I don't even like it. This is wasting cheese. But the Packers were beating the brakes off the Bears, and if you're going to do that, you need to step on their throat. And LaFleur and them couldn't pull that off. And all of a sudden, they started to get out of sorts. That defense started to show the holes that they've had ever since. That Micah thing only threw a Band-Aid over things. And that secondary showed you that we still really ain't that good. They couldn't get no pressure. And Caleb Williams, for all his faults, let you know that, hey, bro, I'm still that dude. If you just let me do my thing. And you look up, and it's 31-27, guys. What's your takeaway from this?
Tag me in real quick. So, a couple things. Coaching absolutely failed them. And if y'all saw, I put in the chat, I was watching that like a Giants fan. And I had PTSD because I seen what I seen multiple times throughout the year that I'm like, I ain't worrying about this first half because as we know, the last few games, bro, the Bears don't play in the first half. Like they're a second half team, or at least Caleb Williams is a second half quarterback. Okay,
adjustments
where it counts. Okay, he locks in. So when they was down, it was like 21-6. I was like, I'm not worried. They're gonna come back. Then shout out to their defense. The Bears defense was locked in. Everybody was on the same page, bro. And when I saw that they kept stopping them, 3 and outs, I'm just like, bro, they're giving them every opportunity to come back. What I cannot stand, and this goes into the prevent, this is why I say the coaching killed them. You saw that the Panthers was getting mollywopped. I mean, in the first half, bro, they was moving the ball down the field with ease. That first drive was like easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was like playing my son on Madden. You know what I'm saying? On rookie. Like I went down the field with no problems. Why do we stop attacking and we play to not lose, or we play to sustain rather than to keep attacking as if we up? I don't care if you up by 50. Keep attacking. And that's what the Green Bay didn't do because they started calling more run plays. And then now they started seeing the Bears get momentum, and now they abandoned the run. You know what I'm saying? Now they just trying to throw the ball. Whereas the Bears, they ain't had no choice because they was down by 18 or something like that. So I just honestly, if that was what Eric said earlier, if that was somebody who could lose their job even going to the playoffs, it would be him because that was a bang up job on coaching. Like he lost them that game.
See, I got G and D.
Clap it up for Ben Johnson, man.
Facts, bro.
I'm sorry, Gary. I know you missed, man.
Facts.
But bro, masterclass.
He's a beast.
Forget about being on the field. Just go watch the locker room. Just be a fly on the wall when you see him out there speaking.
That guy's he's in shape.
And how they talk behind him. Like, I think I had told Earl, this is when we're placing our bets early in the year. One of my criticisms of Chicago was I don't think they know what they got in a certain player, and they finally figured it out. And that player is Loveland. I told Earl that.
Sure did.
I was like, why is Komet on the field? They need to have Loveland out there. He's a difference maker. He's a beast. All right, Michigan.
Nah, shout out to Michigan. That's one of the things they did right.
I will also throw my apologies towards Caleb Williams.
Facts.
Because I was one of the people that I was like, I don't know if he can get right. He was so antsy. This is before Ben Johnson getting there. He was so antsy. You could just see, you know how you got those like the happy feet, and his feet are just steadily patting. I'm like, he's not even getting set. It's like he's scared, but nothing's coming yet. Like he's just going crazy. And I was like, I don't know if he's going to be made out for this. And when Ben Johnson got there, and when it clicked in, because it didn't click in immediately, when it clicked in, you saw the switch. It was night and day, all the way down to confidence, man. So let me go to this one play. That fourth down throw he made at the end.
Oh,
he is covering off the ground, bro. The guy is sweeping them at the bottom.
Yeah,
he looked like the Jordan symbol.
And he has to get over like two defenders, and it comes down right in the pot. I was like, yo, that's it. That's all I need to see. It was a wrap at that, but they didn't even score yet. I was like, this game's over.
Yeah.
This game's over. That was a Mahomes-esque throw that we used to watch years and years and years. And I was like, nobody else can make that type of throw. He was so much, and just watch his mannerisms on the sideline. They're down, multiple scores. And he just, So what we gonna do, guys? Let's get this going. Let's go. Let's go. Like, that's what you need. Whether win or lose, he never in his mind thought that they were too far behind, that they weren't going to come back. So you can't really teach that. You either have it or you don't. And I think it could be woken up. And I think Ben Johnson woke that up in him because he had that in college.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at it, that was the thing to me. Also, going to a person like DJ Moore that was dropping critical passes, bro. Critical.
Tell me about it, because I had some tickets on the line.
They hit him on certain things. It was on in that way. All right. And then defense, Earl gave the praise in that sense. On the Green Bay side, LaFleur. We just saw your floor, pun intended. Weren't you on another squad that blew a big time lead? Weren't you on that squad? I believe you were. I believe you retired to it. I guess it followed you. This is where you get a little bit too big for your britches. And you can't blame this loss or no Love or anything. He balled. Love was out there flinging that thing. This was you. This was horrible coaching. Horrible situational coaching. You're ahead. Go. Shoot, you even got somebody back there that whether they were doing anything or not, I'm going to hand it. I told y'all this before. I'm going to hand it off to Jacob 50 million times. We got the lead like that. Time is going to come off the clock. He's going to have about 30 carries. We in the lead like that. I don't know. It's like they get in their own way. I don't know what analytical book they go and look at. Oh, we're up by so-and-so. Let me do that. No. This is simple, man. This is simple. So this was a LaFleur loss, man. Now, I know, Gary, you said it comes down to the players that are on that field, and I do believe that they, there's certain things that they didn't do right and stuff like that, but hell, Love, 323 yards, 4 touchdowns, 100 and almost 4 rating. How do you lose that game? Ask
Justin Herbert.
Go ahead. You go in right from there.
I would say ask Justin Herbert. He learned the hard way against the Jags years back. We talked about that in the chat before. And yeah, LaFleur was a Atlanta quarterback coach back when they blew that 28-3 situation. And so then for another record to be set to have an 18 point.
He just wanted to break it.
18 point. Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah, 18-point deficit, 25-point score in the fourth quarter. Like, that's just something that you're not supposed to see. And obviously, it's an NFC North matchup, so my bias is definitely there to where watching the game, I was like the Batman movie. Like, can the ground just open up, swallow both teams, and be Gucci? That being said,
yeah,
Earl made a comment in the past about this cat and his fingernails. So my girls like to call him zesty with it. Like he got them zesty hands with the fingernails. He gonna set a trend. If this dude keep winning, like you're gonna see more of these players out here. Like hell, it must be in the fingers. Like trying to be like Mike, they're gonna try to be like Caleb. It's one of those situations where you almost turn the game off, but then it was just like, but it's football. Like it's 4 quarters. Something just don't feel like the game is as over as it is. As I'm looking at it being 21-3, 21-6, 21-9. Like, and then for the Bears to score on their final 4 possessions, touchdown, 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 field goal. It was just like, again, those football deities clearly, somebody prayed the right way, and they got what they got coming to them. There was definitely play calling at a hand on the defensive side for the Packers because you went from in that first half, Caleb had no time to do anything. You couldn't find anything. Second half, as soon as the third quarter started, you're looking like, or towards the end of the third quarter, you're watching to where he's back there and he's just quasi happy feet, but just like in control of it. And just
there's a difference.
5, 6, 10 seconds back there to wait for everything to develop, which with their coach, Ben Johnson, he had some propensity to some of the play calls take time to develop. I'm not going to give him credit because it is what it is. When I first started watching that game, my thought was, look at you. Like, you losing this game the exact same way. You're the reason why we lost the Commanders last year because you got what actually does it. Have these dominant running backs in your backfield against a team that has been prolifically horrible at defense for runs, and you decide we're just gonna put the ball in Goff's hand and we're gonna ignore the fact that we got Sonic and Knuckles back here, and you lose the game. So I'm watching the first half like, here we go again. Ben Johnson is not learning from his mistakes, to kind of take the LaFleur thing of not learning from the Atlanta situation. So to see the turnaround in the fourth quarter was definitely impressive. Can't deny that. My sister, she's a huge Bears fan, so I know she's going to be with the whole Bears down minutia all day long. Had a little mini heart attack, so happy for her. As the godmother of my daughter, but other than that, whoever they play next, hopefully they take them out. It's not, and they read the room and say, "Hey, by the way, we're up. Mom, as Earl said, we're up by 20. We need to be up by 40. Let's keep it going because again, they are. Is that phrase with the cardiac cats? These like the cardiac bears, right? You know what I'm saying? The cardiac Ursidaes out here just doing you leave us around. We look like we're hibernating, but when we wake up, we're gonna show up and show out if you give us time for it. To where he's making some of those, like you said, Mahomes, Stafford, last minute quarterback, last fourth quarter overtime type wins. That the Bears this year are like the Vikings last year, to where it came down to 1-score games. The Vikings were winning those 1-score games like crazy. This year, they couldn't get their own way. Because they didn't have Sam Burke, what have you.
I want to say this one thing before you go, Sean. One quick statement. I didn't know it would be this big of a difference, but I knew a difference was coming. And Earl knows where I'm going because, of course, we're the masters of paying attention to the offseason. So I'm paying attention to everything and all the movement. And the one thing I saw the Bears do that woke me up, and I was like, yeah, there's something different going on, is when they replaced that whole line.
Yep. I knew you were about to say.
When they said, this is our main guy, how do we make him better? Yeah, we can put weapons around him, but he's getting killed. Let's go fill in this line. And that's what they did. Every day you saw it popping up. Oh, we got so-and-so from here. Oh, we went and got so. That lets you know, especially as that young of a quarterback, I believe in you. I'm going to do everything possible that you're protected. And now it's on you.
And you know what's crazy with that? Because that was like the first thing. Like, it wasn't no sexy moves like that Ben Johnson did. It was like, it was just necessary move. And when I tell you, like, he spent like bread. Like, he got like, this wasn't just fillers. Like, we got some fillers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get one dude that's real good, and then you get a couple. No.
Get that one that's 36 years old was good 10 years ago.
Yep.
He got a couple of Pro Bowls on that line. You understand? So
I know you got something for us.
So correction to you, G. The Bears aren't the Vikings of last year. The Bears are actually the Commanders of last year. So they actually the Commanders were winning a bunch of the single point games last year, or those last minute games here. But here's the crazy part: last year, the Commanders Bears game, their Bears season fell apart after that Hail Mary completely went down. Flip it this year, the Commanders season fell apart after that fumble against the Bears this year in week 6. The Commanders then proceeded to lose 7 games in a row after the fumble against the Bears this season. How crazy. With the same type of thing that you see with them is crazy. Now, will they go further to the NFC Championship game? We're going to see. But it's going to be interesting. That being said, we'll talk about it. Go ahead.
Hold on. You brought your team up, right? So it was the conversation last year because Caleb wasn't and Jaden was. And now you have this season where Caleb is and Jaden isn't, injuries and whatnot. Do we need another season to have the two of them compare each other, or are you feeling like you're ready to make a comparison of who's going to be the better quarterback going forward?
No, the comparison is going to happen next season because now they're going to be looking at Caleb. Caleb had Jaden has. So they're going to compare like, hey, did Washington make a mistake in this case? By not, and actually, to be honest, it's not going to be them two. It's going to be between Drake May and Jaden Daniels because the Bears were going to take Caleb regardless. The comparison is going to be now Drake May and Jaden Daniels because now you see because they could have had Drake. So that's going to be the conversation that's going to start to happen, which is going to be interesting. That being the case, man,
hell of a QB class. Hell of a QB
you ain't lying. So as you see at the bottom, it's been a lot happening this season. A lot of coaches fired from Brian Callahan, Brian Daboll early this season, Raheem Morris, Kevin Stefanski, Pete Carroll, Jonathan Gannon, John Harbaugh. Wow. And then Mike McDaniels just got hired after they said they was going to keep him. So that now we got some coaches that on the hot seat. I think is they may let loose of Matt LaFleur, but another coach whose seat is pretty hot, Sean McDermott, going into this Buffalo game. He's kind of in the space where Matt LaFleur has been, what John Harbaugh has been. They've been right there, and they've been losing those pivotal games. Do we typically see a departure of, I think we all in agreement that Matt LaFleur probably going to get fired, but do we see a departure of Sean McDermott if they lose this game today?
I would say I think potentially, but I ain't going to hold you. I feel like if he do get let go, they need to let go of that GM too. Because like I said this before, and I think me and Dave was talking about this offline, I was like, their GM is doing exactly what KC's GM is doing, where it's, you're not respecting that QB, and you're saying because they're so dope, it's like you're not really putting real people around them. You putting fillers around them. You know what I'm saying? Which is putting more strain on them. You know what I'm saying? Where you got to show it's like, at the end of the day, no matter how dope that they are, bro, you got to put some real people around them. And with the Bills, it's like, you got all these people, but you ain't got the right folks. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with KC. You got all these people, but you ain't got the right folks. Keon Coleman, bro, like the kid got talent, but he immature. You know what I'm saying? Shakir could be that guy, but again, I feel like, you got so many people that like you can't get people in the rhythm. You got 2 tight ends. I like Kincaid, but Kincaid was injured. Again, I like Knox. But it's like you spreading the ball, cats can't get off. And then you got cats like freaking Cooks that come in and have 100 yards last game. And then you won't see him again. Or you got Gabe Davis that can, he can mess around and get something. Like, they got a lot of folks, but they ain't got enough. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. When Diggs left, you know what I'm saying? I think that's when you saw the decline. Because Diggs allowed Shakir to get off. Because everybody was focusing on Diggs.
Apparently Diggs been getting off a lot too. I ain't gonna lie. Let's go. What you got, G? What you got?
With Sean McDermott, I don't know. Like I see the writing on the wall for it, but then the Bills, I don't think they've changed ownership anytime soon, right? So we're talking about the same team that had a head coach, Mark Levy, went to the 3 straight Super Bowls, and they didn't fire him, right? So I think that as long as they're competitive, they're going to keep him. As long as Allen stays healthy, they'll continue to how to build around it. So I think his seat might be warming up, but it's not like scorching hot as compared to Matt LaFleur. If we're going to say which one is going to go, I'll probably say they're probably leaning more towards your ownership team versus the team in the Mafia. Unless the Mafia.
What you got, Dave? Yeah, you ain't lying. What you got, Dave?
Yeah, it's biased. Clear house with Buffalo. Where'd Daboll come from? Where'd they come from?
Buffalo. Yeah.
Clear all that shit. Just get rid of all of that shit. It ain't gonna work. You're wasting time.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say on that. Hands down, just clear out.
All right, so we gotta ask this question, man. Seats a little warm. Mike Tomlin, Steelers, Kyle Shanahan, 49ers, and Nick Sirianni. He just won a Super Bowl, but Philadelphia is weird. If we get some losses today, Mike Tomlin, that's been a conversation. They just let go let go John Harbaugh. So anything can happen in Pittsburgh. Kyle Shanahan is in the same realm as the Matt LaFleur's of the world, of the Shawn. I mean, they've been there. Like, they've been there, and now do they potentially let him go if they lose today, especially in embarrassment? And then Nick Sirianni, I feel like they just don't like him in Philly. That's all that comes down to. But yeah, any of these guys, man, potentially that you see being walked out the door, key card turned off if they lose today, especially if it's in an embarrassing, situation.
Honestly, no. I think if Mike leaves, it's because Mike want to leave. Cal is good. And then Nick, be honest, I don't think Nick is gonna go nowhere. I think they defensive coordinator and they potentially the offensive coordinator probably gonna get out of there before Nick. And if he don't make that change, like Michael Jackson, they gonna make that change.
What you got, G?
I
love what you did there.
Chief Fish's wildest comment.
I seen him.
Number 2. Earl. Yeah. So I don't think any of them are necessarily on a seat of the stern. But, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I think they're all safe as they want to be.
Yeah.
I think most of these are going to be situational of them. Tomlin, even if he was to be gone, I think it's going to be one of those things behind the scenes that they shake hands and he rolls out. Because the one thing with the Tomlin situation, even more than how far they go, he may want to roll out with the camp. Remember, it's like the oldest defense out there. His boys are there. Cam Haywood. It's not like Rodgers is playing for another 10 years or anything like that. He may just sit back and said, hey, I did everything I needed to do over a 19-year span, and every single year I got to come back to the bullshit of the church. Hey, I did what I needed to do. I'm out. And I can see that happening. On the Shanahan side of things, besides this last game that he coached, this is one of his best years to me because they didn't have nobody. It was in and out. Like all these people gone, and he's in a position of where he's at. So if they fired him, wow. Wow.
Right. Right. So
on the Nick Sirianni side, I don't see him getting fired, but then again, I didn't see their last coach getting fired. So, even though me situationally wise, there were certain decisions that were made that I didn't agree with what he did, but so it can happen. I think more it's going to be, I know you said the defensive side, Earl, I think it'll be the offensive side. Especially if they don't get as far as they should. So it'll be the offensive coordinator to me more than the head coach. I think the head coach will be fine.
Got you. All right, man. We know what y'all been waiting for. It's the end of the season, so let's go ahead and get on to it.
Y'all tied.
So they tied, which was crazy. So I don't know how do we both send y'all both 12.50 a piece? I don't know.
Nah, we're good.
It's good. We're good. All right, so let's go ahead and get these quick picks out here out of the way, man. Bills at Jaguars. I got the Jags, bro. I got the Jags.
Ball County, let's go.
Hold on, I gotta get into the sheets. Well, hold on, you gotta go over the other picks we made. The ones that we already made.
Did we? What pick we made?
Yeah, remember there's games that already was played. So I'll
yesterday.
Oh yeah, I got you. So yesterday, my bad. Yeah.
So through those games right there, Earl had the Rams and the Bears, so he won both of those. I had the Rams and the Packers. Thank you, LaFleur. Sean had
Rams and Packers.
The Rams and the Packers the same. Gary had the Rams and the Bears. Malik had the Rams and the Packers. Jay had the Rams and the Bears. And Javen had the Panthers and Packers. And I almost changed my Packers pick because I saw that Javen picked the Packers. So I almost said that. It was like, yeah, this ain't gonna go right.
Do my boy like that.
Man. Oh man.
Go ahead. Now you get to the pick. So where we at?
Yeah.
Bills and
Bills at Jaguars, man. Jaguars is it this year, bro. I got the Jags.
All right, I got the Bills.
I know what G going.
Exactly.
And who you going with, Earl?
The Bills. I don't believe in the Jags.
49ers at Eagles, man.
We will tomorrow or at 4:00.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't believe in Sunshine, not the Jags.
Man, just going personal.
You called him Sunshine, so you got a little belief in him.
Yeah. He got his nickname back. He made it to the playoffs. So
yeah.
You got Shawn?
Surprise! I got the Eagles in this game, man. There's something with that Shanahan crew that they've been effing up this year, man. When it comes to coaching games, the 49ers had an opportunity to have that #1 seed against the Seattle Seahawks, and Kyle fumbled that game coaching wise. And he's done it a couple of times, bro. And I think today they lose to the Eagles.
I got the Eagles.
Yeah,
Gary has the Eagles. Earl?
Eagles.
Oh, I want to go with the Eagles, but because they playing in hostile. But I ain't gonna lie, yo. No, this ain't the same Eagles. I got the 49ers, yo.
All right.
But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I got the 49ers. Sorry.
The Sunday night game, man. Chargers at Patriots. It's been a great year for the Patriots. This is going to come down to a game that's coaching. I don't think coaching these two here, Jim Harbaugh and
Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel, man. Yeah, this is going to be. I got the Chargers because I feel like Stephon Diggs is going to do something to fuck this game up for them. So I got the Chargers.
Lucky you're playing.
Right.
I got the Patriots.
I got the Pats. I don't even think it's going to be close, to be honest with you. Herbert hand is messed up. He ain't been looking right.
Yeah, there's a lot of hand injuries out there.
And they're going to win by 10.
All right. That's awesome. It's been a good season, man. We had a really good, surprising football season this year. Yeah, we don't know who's going to win the chip this year, to be honest. We have no idea. All we know is Bad Bunny going to be there. That's all I know at this point. Let's go. Bonito. Hot Seat Podcast 2026 NFL Draft Watchcast live on YouTube, April 23rd. Where we got?
Texas Steelers.
What we do?
Hey, bud.
Texas Steelers.
Oh, the Monday night game. They're right. The Monday night game. That's right. I apologize.
I'm like, where's
the Monday night game. Texans Steelers. I got the Texans, bro. I got the Texans. That defense is a monster. I got the Texans in that game. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
So somebody got him.
Yeah. Hopefully Mike still be there. If not, then I'm just gonna be like I told you so. But hey, it's the hot seat, man. These games about to start, man. Enjoy your Sundays. We'll see you guys back next week. Go Canes. Let's go. Just saying. Thanks, Earl, for your apology. Eric, I know you out there too lingering. We're gonna talk. Let's go.